Alright everyone, welcome to this new video. Today we're going to talk about the AMD RX 6500 XT and why it's not a disaster. It's actually quite the opposite. It's a logical conclusion of our current situation, and I'm happy that AMD actually gave some thought into this, not the whole, Nvidia crap fiesta with their low hash rate cards, which didn't really do anything. So let me explain. Why do people think this graphics card is a disaster? Well, one is this, what you're seeing right now, and I'm going to come to this in a moment, but the main reason is this. So apparently it looks like the 6500 XT seemingly is worse than an RX 480. Now, obviously it's not going to be the case. It's probably going to be faster, although not by much. But why is this all right? Why is this fine? Why is this GPU that's being released in 2022 comparable to an old-ass graphics card from God knows when, but it's still fine? Well, let me explain. We look at this graph right here, and we'll notice something. Where is it the most nerfed? It's mostly nerfed in texture units, memory bus. And it's very important, because anything related to any sort of VRAM processing is nerfing its Ethereum mining capabilities. So this card is absolutely going to be dog shit when it comes to Ethereum miners, because it has such bad memory bus. And that is the main reason why they have done this, why they have nerfed this card so hard, because they need to make this as unattractive for Ethereum miners as possible so that you can actually get this card in stock. And you could tell that AMD really wants to focus on rather the high end, like Nvidia with their ridiculous RTX 3090 Ti, which on its own probably needs like 500 watts. Like you could, I wouldn't be surprised if this shit keeps on going, we need a second power supply just for the graphics card, which is ridiculous. Well, AMD actually focuses more on, okay, how can we make our products way more, way better for the gamers? That's why we have Fsr. Super Resolution is also coming out, which is supposedly FSR just on steroids, which again, in combination with this graphics card, will make it a super, super nice card for gaming. Yeah, you won't be doing 4K gaming, but it's more for budget-oriented people anyways. And this is why the graphics card is absolutely fine. It's perfect. This is exactly the move from AMD that we as gamers should actually want. Yeah, that's actually what we wanted. This is all we wanted. We wanted a graphics card we could actually buy. And the only way AMD could make this happen is by making sure that the graphics card has as shitty VRAM processing as possible. And this is what we got. And I'm absolutely fine with it. I'm absolutely fine with it. I love this. The fact that they also let you overclock this. I wouldn't be surprised if you can probably run the core clock at 2.8, 2.9 gigahertz like the other RX 6000 series cards. So there's definitely going to be some overclock as well for gamers to enjoy. It'll just really suck in games that really require a lot of texture processing. The card will not do particularly well. The older generation will probably do better there. But then again, we have the whole Super Resolution FSR and whatnot, which is probably going to balance that out and focus more on the actual GPU core performance, which hopefully then should, boost the performance way ahead of the older generation. So yeah, this is why the graphics card quote unquote sucks, but it is necessary for making it absolutely purchasable for any gamer. If AMD had went the route and say, okay, we're gonna have a 128-bit memory bus and put some more texture units and whatnot into it, it would again be snatched by bots, which Ethereum miners have just shoved into several sites and just get the card away, so you wouldn't even get it. Oh, it's a great card on paper, but you're never gonna have it, right? So this is why you should not be mad at AMD. You should actually be happy the fact that they actually thought about this. How could we make this as unattractive for Ethereum miner as possible? So I assume this card will actually be available. Some miners might not be informed of it, because not a whole lot of them are into the tech. So they might just buy it and then realize, oh shit, it's gonna suck. So I assume we'll find a lot of these either just gonna be scalpers or Ethereum miners who just thought the graphics card would be usable, then realized, oh shit, this is a waste of space. then they're going to sell it on the used market as well. So I assume this card is going to be buyable. Maybe not in the first month due to the things I just said, but I think over time this will actually be available for the public for a normal price. So yay AMD. Now the thing that a lot of people are also complaining about is the fact that it has no 4K H264 encode. I'm like, okay, you know the performance of this card. What exactly do you want to stream 4K? Like, what is the idea here? I don't understand, because nobody, and I repeat, nobody is going to stream at 4K to begin with because of the bitrate limitations you have to begin with. Second of all, what game do you want to play in 4K on a 6500 XT? Like, come on, you want to play at 8 frames per second? What's the idea here? It's a little weird. Now, that it doesn't have the AV1 decode is a little... I don't like that as much. And the fact that it has apparently no H265 encoder. Okay, so it sounds bad on paper, but as a person who actually went with AMD for quite a while now, AMD, like in my main rig, I use AMD cards, and all my other rigs I use NVIDIA cards. And I can tell you from experience, the H265 codec, or rather the encode unit, whatever, when it works, it's amazing. Now, you noticed I said when, and that's the thing. It's not as smooth sailing as NVIDIA cards, I have to say. Currently, there's a new glitch going on where if you use this encoder, then, and this also goes for the H264 encoder, if you have a static image, it'll just start pixelating out of nowhere for no good reason. This is a new glitch introduced. For a long time, the H265 recording was also not usable because you had a glitch going on in the drivers, which was in a span of, I think, 4 months or something like that. So you couldn't use the encoder. It would record, but it would be unable to save it. And they finally fixed that like a month ago. Yet they introduced this new glitch where you cannot record stat like this right now. I would not be able to record this with the H265 accelerated encoding on my AMD card because it would just pixelate the entire thing. This is actually on CPU. So not having this, I don't know if it's really that big of a deal. Personally, I don't think it's a big of a deal because most people probably don't use it anyways. Most people would go for CPU given how terribly unreliable this H265 encoder is. So yeah, it used to work like almost a year ago. It used to work fine. It used to work great actually. I used to record a lot of videos with it, and then driver update happened and it just ruined everything. And I know some people be like, okay, then just go back with the drivers. You can't really do that because there's a lot of games that I play, new games, that need a newer driver, otherwise it'll just crash and whatnot. So yeah, again, I have mixed feelings about this because of my personal experience with AMD cards, and this is not something on one particular AMD card. It's actually different cards. I had a 5700 XT upgraded to a 6600 XT, and both are doing the exact same when it comes to this stupid ass H265 encoder. So yeah, you go figure out. So yeah, this is my stance on this entire 6500 XT. I personally think it's good. It's what the market needed, and I'm happy that AMD is doing this. And for those who want to keep crying about performance, well, you can then go and try to get a graphics card you can't get. Have fun with that. That's the only real option. I mean, you can't really hate AMD for this because they're not really at fault for this entire Ethereum mining fiasco and the chip shortages. It's not really their fault. They're doing whatever they can to somehow fix this. And this is the only logical conclusion I can think of personally as well, where they actually make a GPU that you can buy as a gamer. So yeah, there you go. That's my stance on it, and I hope you learned something, and I hope people will stop calling this GPU trash or disaster, because honestly, it really isn't. It's a logical conclusion to our shitty situation right now. If you want to be mad at someone, be mad at all the Ethereum miners, and potentially also be mad at NVIDIA because we got some nasty stories from NVIDIA selling to, like, in bulk to Ethereum miners and stuff like that. It was, when I read that, oh Jesus. But that's a topic for another video maybe. We'll see. Hope you enjoyed and hope you learned something.